Yes, yes, y'all. What's happening? It's Fam Matters. We're back again, baby. Faith and mess. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, listening, and watching our foolishness, our faith and mess,
Ridiculous.
because it all matters. I am one of your hosts, the not so eloquent Emmett Young, Dr. Emmett Young. Say
Get
the
it
doctor.
right. Say the
Say
doctor.
the
It's an earned doctorate.
It's an earned doctorate. And with me is, as always, not is, as always, is my sister, Dr. Jessica Young Brown. You better say the doctor on that one. That's a real doctor. That's a real jump.
Hey, y'all. We're just here, just being messy. If you watched the last episode, I would issue an apology, but y'all knew what
No,
y'all were getting into when you clicked on it.
there's
So
no
you
apology.
get what you get.
I will not. I will never apologize ever. If I said it, I meant it at that time.
I was
Now I
about
may
to
be
say.
sorry 10 minutes later, but if I said it, I'm gonna stick by it. That's it. I might say, I'm sorry that you all felt the way you did by what I
Which
said.
is no apology at all. You can
It is a
literally keep it.
that is an
It's
apology.
not an
That is
apology.
just because you don't like it, that does
No,
not mean
I'm
that is
sorry
not
you
an
felt
apology.
that way. It's not an
Yes, that's an
apology.
apology.
Just because you say the words
I am.
"I'm sorry" doesn't mean it's an apology.
Yeah, actually it does. When I say I'm sorry, that is an apology. Okay, you may not like it, but it is an apology. And guess what? I am sincerely sorry that if what I said offended you or you felt offended by it. I apologize. But guess what? I ain't taking it back. See what I'm saying? You feel me?
As y'all can see and hear, he's on one today. So
Fammatterspod at
here we go.
gmail.com. Let me know if I'm on one. Fammatterspod at gmail.com. Hit us up on that. Fammatterspod at gmail.com. fammatterspod at gmail.com. I was trying to read it real quick.
Look at those
Just
spelling. You
so
are
I know,
good
right?
at
Only because it's
spelling.
right in front of me. Only
I
because it's right in front of me.
mean, the
You
people
know,
who
I
are
can't
listening to the audio wouldn't know
can't
that
spell.
unless you told them.
I can't
So
spell. I can't. Also on YouTube, Fan Matters Pod and IG, right? We on IG,
correct.
Fan
Fan
Matters
Matters
Pod.
Pod.
Yeah, boom. You see that? That's
Continuity.
branding, boo. That's how you do it.
Continuity.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So we were talking offline because really quick, a lot of times the offline discussions are sometimes funnier or just sometimes more intense than
Because our
when we
text
actually
thread
start.
is constantly in shambles. Y'all
Ju-
think here's the thing, we're bad here, but this is
yeah,
actually a much
it's
more
mild.
toned down version of
It's
how we
mild.
really are.
It is
Like,
super mild.
catch us together, and it's a problem.
It is. It really is. So
But
you were telling me how nice I look, and I appreciate that. Well, first of all,
I told him he was looking like a
I'm
preacher
interpreting.
today.
I'm interpreting what you
Ow.
said. I didn't. You didn't say I look nice.
I
You
said
said
you
I
look
look like
like
a
a
preacher
preacher.
today.
Yeah.
But in my mind, when somebody
In your
says that,
mind,
you know,
that's what you heard.
yeah, that's what you're really
Correct.
trying to say. I look
You
nice.
turned it into a compliment, is what
Yeah,
you
I
did.
did try because it was a compliment. It is a compliment. First of all, as I told you offline, number one, you know, this is she mentioned my sport coat. I have on a tan sport coat and a coat
He's
jacket.
got like an Obama suit jacket
Yeah,
on.
the hater suit,
The
the
Obama
hating
suit.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's not a sport coat. It's because I'm wearing this with a t-shirt on it because I'm too fat for the pants. That's what COVID did. Before COVID, I look really good in this suit. I mean, I look stellar in this suit. When I put this suit on, I had an Obama-esque hair.
Showstopper.
Yeah, showstopper. I'd be like, what? What you say to me? I
Oh
was
my
doing the thing.
God.
I was doing it, right? The COVID hit, and all of a sudden one day, as if I didn't know, that
All of a
coming
sudden.
home and sitting on my duff and eating yeast rolls from Golden Corral. No, not Golden Corral, Western Sizzling, as if I
Oh,
didn't know that
Western
they'll put
Sizzler.
pounds on me. I tried to put it on one day and I'm like, the pants are too tight. It's a harsh world out
You
here.
had also gotten really thin right before COVID.
I'm thin. I did. I've been to the gym. I'd exercise. I had like really gotten down to
He
a
was
size
lean. He
that I
was
really
very
liked. Yeah,
lean.
I really liked. And like I said, I was killing him. I was gospel sexy. I was really gospel
What
sexy.
is
And
gospel
right
sexy?
now, I
And
am
please tell
not
us
gospel
what
sexy
gospel
anymore.
sexy
I'm
is.
just not. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So yeah.
Please tell us what gospel sexy is.
Gospel sexy is, it's when you're a sexy Christian. It's when you're grown and sexy, but you're a Christian. You're a Christian. You're gospel sexy. It's like, oh, I see you. You look good. Gospel sexy. That's gospel sexy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
thank you for
it's
clearing that up
saying
for us.
it's saying that you look good, but you don't you don't mean anything by it. Like, I can tell you, if you're a woman, you know what, you said she looked good today, and I don't mean anything by it. You know what, you're gospel sexy. I'm not trying to get you, I'm not trying to book you, nothing like that. I'm just giving you a compliment. But you got to be careful these days, fellas. You got to be careful what you say and how you say it. You may not mean any harm, and if you have to think that through, don't even let it come out of your mouth. Just think it. That's it. That's it. Tell her she's gospel sexy in your mind. In your mind.
Don't
Don't say it out loud.
do
Yeah.
that.
You gotta feel the environment, fellas. You gotta feel the environment. You
Do
gotta feel.
you? That's. I'm gonna ask you this offline. I just had a thought.
No, ask me, please. Our
So,
listeners want to
do you
know.
think that like the whole trying to avoid a sexual assault allegation is why there are some men who want? We're talking about heteronormative cisgender folks. Y'all know I
Mhm.
gotta do that disclaimer. There are some men who want women to make the first move or to like be the pursuer. Do you think that's a part of it?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I think for some people, like even myself, if I was single now, I would be
By
like
the way, if
really.
you're married, stay married because it's
Right. If
bad
you're
out
if, if
here.
you're married, stay married.
It's
Work through
bad out
it.
here.
Work through
Figure it
it.
out.
and you're saying this as somebody who's gone through a
Literally
divorce and all
divorce.
that kind of stuff. Work through it. Just get through it. Whatever you got to do. Stay married.
Make
Stay
it
married.
work.
But so I would yeah, I'm hesitant. I would be like, I'll give you a really great example. The other week, I was in the office with my assistant, and she's an older lady. I mean, we work fine, well together, and all that. I was. There's a whole nother story of why there's only one working phone in the office. That's a whole nother story. I don't even want to go there right now, right? And
Right.
it's on her desk. So I had to go over there to talk to somebody. Hung the phone up. We were looking at some on the computer, and I just caught a whiff of her perfume. And I said, "Oh, you smell really nice today." And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Did I offend you? Like, did I offend you?" It's stuff like that, because we are hesitant. If you're trying to not be a trash guy, not be a trash, man, and all of the things and stories of women who have gone through stuff, you are kind of hesitant. You are.
Mhm.
I mean, you can have that face all you want, but like, for real, I'm being dead serious. It is another world. And the last thing you want to do, if it is not your goal, and if you really are trying to take somebody's feelings into consideration, because you don't know where they've been, you don't know exactly what they've gone through, the last thing you want to do is offend somebody, in that way. So yeah, I do. If I was dating now, I would probably like I would most likely go back to like old school and like slip a
Write her a
note
note.
like, "Do you like me?
Do you like me? Yes,
Like, do I
no,
have a
or
chance?
maybe.
Yes,
Will you be my
maybe,
girlfriend?
no,
Yes, no,
yeah,
or maybe.
yeah. I mean, I would,
That's interesting. I think, like, from
I would,
to me, there's
I would.
like,
I'm waiting for you to acknowledge the fact that you may, think I'm attractive, like my style, want to have a conversation with me, whatever. I think that's part of it. But at the same time, I think, just in social settings and social situations, I do still believe in nonverbal cues, that are
yeah.
given out, So I think, you take a chance. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. This is where I leave it, for real. If you do pursue, and you get shoved off, then
Keep it
back off.
moving.
That's
Just
it.
keep it moving.
Just keep it moving.
To
There's
me,
no
there's
need
like
to.
so much nuance that people are missing when they say that. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess it's better to overcorrect than to act like it's not a thing. But you could give somebody a compliment in a way that's not creepy. And the people who are,
exactly.
to me, the people who are most concerned about it are the ones who were never going to be creeps anyway. So it's like,
Exactly.
but anyway,
It's
interesting.
his. I think that as a so then you would have to say as a as a woman, who once again is back out in that pool, how you've been approached, by guys. If you've noticed
The
that they
full
they're
gamut.
really hesitant.
I mean, like I think, like I said, to me, I think the men who are going to be creepy are going to continue to be creepy because they're creeps. I think seriously. But I've also had men who would approach me, but if I'm not interested, they're respectful and they back off. Like to me, I
Right.
don't take issue with that because it's like, shoot your shot because you might
Right.
only get one chance.
You get one chance. You get one
So
chance.
do that. But I
Yeah.
also, to me, it's just about respecting if somebody sets a boundary with you. And if you're not sure, then you can just ask. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot my shot. I mean, even if never, no, I'm not gonna say that. No, but yeah, you're right. If you're single,
Correct.
all right, shoot your
Correct.
shot. If you're single,
Listen,
shoot your shot.
we can have a whole different faith and mess conversation about people who are not single, because there's plenty to
I don't
say
want to do
there.
that. I do
There's
not want to
plenty
do
to say there.
that. It really is. It is.
Plenty.
So, and the funny thing about it, well, actually, no, this is not funny. Um, I actually, even before the time that we're in now, I never understood why, if a guy was rejected, that he's calling a woman a name. I never got that. Like,
Because
bro,
you're not a
is your
gay.
pride so fragile? Are you that
Yes.
insecure? Like,
And
for
many
real?
men are raised to believe that women's worlds should revolve around them,
Yeah,
their desires, their needs, their wants. And so, how dare she turn him down
it's not that serious,
because
bro.
he's
Move
God's
on.
gift?
Move
Just
on.
move on.
Move on. Move on with the
Whatever.
number of with the numbers the way they are, the ratios the way they are now,
Men got
bro.
it good.
You
Listen, just
if you
move
are,
on.
what you say all those words? If you're don't no 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 no, I'm gonna get it right. If
Let's
you're
see.
cisgender, hetero,
Yeah.
normative,
Yeah. Look. Oh, fan faithful. He did it.
but no, for real, I practice that. No, seriously though, if that's you, if
You
that's you,
good.
you're good. You are good. You're good. So just move on. Speaking of moving on, we got to move on. All right, we're moving on because this is not what we're supposed to be talking about today.
At all. That's why I originally said I would ask you that offline. So the title of today's episode is Got to Be Glue.
What is what? What's the
Got
title?
to be glue.
I thought you were. That's good. That's good. That's good. So real quick insight. Inside look here. We don't always come up with titles beforehand.
We don't
To come up with
ever
titles
come
after.
up with titles beforehand.
But you took the initiative to get this title together because y'all, she texted me the other night and was like, we got to talk about this. And I had heard about it, but I hadn't seen the clip. So Gotta Be Glued. You all probably already know that we're talking about none other than the heir apparent Sarah Jakes of the Jakes Global Empire. TD Jakes is a
Don't forget the Roberts now. She's happily
I'm sorry,
married.
forgive me, Sarah Jakes Roberts. Forgive me, but she is absolutely the heir apparent and
Absolutely.
absolutely killing it right now. Can we just say
Baby.
that at the outset? She's killing it.
She
She's killing it.
is killing it.
She's killing it. All right, I give her the
She's
props.
killing it on the interwebs. She's
Mhm.
killing it at the conferences.
Mhm.
Sis is an influencer. She
She
killing
is.
it preaching.
So then why did she have to snatch the wig off on when while she was I got some, but you know what? Since we were just talking what we were talking about, I am going to move aside and please, I would love for you to give your comments first.
So for those of you who
And
somehow
I
have
don't say
managed to
that in the
miss this,
position of, I
y'all
can't.
see
I'm
how
just
he
saying
told
I'm
me I
moving
could talk
aside.
and then cut me off? You see that?
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
um in case you've somehow missed it, she was preaching a sermon. She was talking about like not caring about your appearance. She had on a wig. She wears wigs all the time. Like she's a wig wearer, okay? She had on a wig. The wig was
Hold on,
slipping off.
real quick. So and this is the question that she's a wig wearer, but we don't know about her hair, or do we? Just a question.
What do you mean we don't know about her hair? I don't
mean,
understand what you're saying.
she has hair. She has
Yeah, she
actual
has
hair.
hair.
I mean, like nothing's wrong with it. She's got hair. She just wears wigs.
Yes, I don't think she has like a condition or anything.
Okay, all right.
She
All right,
wears wigs like for the versatility.
Like you wear shoes, right?
Yeah, it's my guess. And she's like very like she has a fashion line, so she's like very into doing different looks and that kind of stuff. I'm probably not using the right language for the way she presents, but because obviously that's not me. But she's a wig wearer, right? So listen, I did cut my hair one time and sell it so it could be made, but this actually grows out of my hair.
That's a whole nother story because our family, we got that good hair.
If that ain't the most anti-black foolishness.
We got Indian in our family. We got Indian in our family.
Listen, right? Here's how you know we are ignorant, because all of us say that. Have we identified any one indigenous ancestor?
Yes.
Our grandfather's mother, is that who you're talking about?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I seen the pictures, y'all. She looked black to me, but we're gonna leave that for another day.
She was blacker than the mug.
This was chocolate, okay? But they calling her the indigenous one. So the math ain't mathing.
And part of
it. But y'all know black people do that. We stay here talking about we got Indian and we got Cherokee in our family. Where
part of that really though is, and so we kind of don't know. It's more likely that came from a white man, in the Loretta area. But anyway, that's a whole
different thing. And so anyway, she's a wig wearer, and that is important to what I'm about to say. So she's preaching. Sarah Jakes Roberts goes hard when she's preaching. Like she goes for it, right?
She does.
So she's moving around the stage. The wig is slipping. She tries to pull it back up, and she says, "I'm about to take it off." She yanks the wig off, throws it to someone who's ready on stage, and continues to preach in her wig cap. The crowd goes wild. Mayhem ensues. Sisters in the audience are also snatching their wigs off and laying them on the altar. And it's the perfect sermon illustration, because she was talking about basically going to God as you are, and not caring about what you look like and not caring about the external appearance. It was perfect. Here's what I'll say. I like Sarah Jakes Roberts. I'm a fan. I think she's oily. I think she can preach her tail off.
I like it. Oily.
She's oily. Listen, she's oily.
I like it.
And I don't believe for 1 minute that was accidental.
Thank you. That's where I am.
I think it was not perfect.
It was not accidental.
It was a perfect sermon illustration. And what I don't appreciate is people coming for her, because preachers do sermon illustrations like that all the time. She's just savvy enough to do it in that way.
I think she's playing.
Playing how?
I mean, yes, there are certain planned sermon illustrations, but with this, this is what I didn't get. And maybe because I'm not a woman. And if this is true, let me know. I didn't get the fervor over her taking the wig off. And you got other women in there snatching wigs off. I mean, like literally, she couldn't even move on in preaching for a few minutes because people like
they went in. Yeah.
And I'm just like, Really?
So
Now,
I'll
here's the other thing.
say,
Wait, wait,
go
wait.
ahead.
Hold on. Here's the other thing. People, women, wear wigs because they have, not all of them, but a lot of them wear wigs because they have conditions. They have conditions. And this is what I didn't like about it. I didn't like the fact that you can do that because you got hair. You got hair. You got a wig cap on. You got a full nice set of hair. You just like wearing wigs because you like wearing wigs. So that's what I didn't. That's what I didn't like about what she did. It was, to me, it was disingenuous. It just was.
So, I mean, here's what I'll say. I understood I think there's something we lose like watching it on video after the fact. Like seeing comments from people who were actually in the room at the time. I can see how it would have felt really different if you were in the room. And
Because
as a
of spirit.
woman, because of the spirit, I mean, you know, to me, there's this like continuum of Holy Spirit, you know, the like physical and spiritual energy that's in a room when somebody's preaching, and then the emotionality, the Black church experience, like, you know, all of those things are connected. But as a woman, I think it presents a really powerful model, especially for somebody who curates her appearance so carefully, to make a decision to show like what's underneath in that way. And I think a lot of women, regardless of how much we sort of buy into the idea that we need to curate our appearance in that particular way, like I am not somebody, I mean, I'm a girly girl in the sense that I like to dress up, but I don't wear makeup every day. I'm not like a, you know, but I could see how it would be really powerful because women are trained to like pretty ourselves to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted. So to have a visual representation of still having the same power, still having the same access, and not be able to do that, I think is really powerful. Now, I can appreciate your point about in some ways what you're saying is it didn't cost her anything because she has hair.
It didn't cost. She has hair.
But I guess what I would argue is, does what she did not also make space for the sisters who don't have hair, whether it's alopecia or what, you know, there are lots of things that can cause people to not have hair. But I think part of the argument is like, you don't have to try to cover that up. Like if you choose to do it because you feel better in your own skin, cool. But let that be a choice rather than a demand that is placed on you by somebody else.
But she didn't say that. She didn't say that. That, and, you know, I feel you. I feel
That's
you. I
fair.
really do. I feel you on that. I'm totally 100% with you on that. But she didn't say it.
And that's
She
fair.
didn't. She didn't say it.
I mean, I
And
get it.
you know, I get it. I get in the whole point of the moment and all of that. So I'm trying to look. I really am trying to look at this. And let me also say at the outset. Let me say at the outset. I'm not. I don't. I hope I'm not. It doesn't sound like I'm hating on her. I hope not. I'm just voicing kind of my opinion about what I thought about the situation and the, you know, the video. And I think she's phenomenal. I really do. I think she's amazing. I saw a post on Facebook. Somebody was saying like, you know, oh, she snatched it off because she was dying in her message. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't listen to it like from the beginning of the message. I just kind of fast forwarded to the part where, you know, a little bit before she snatched it off, and she snatched it off a little bit after that. But I'm like, I was like, that's just hate. That's just kind of like hate, right? So,
but the reality is, some people don't like her because of who she is.
sure, yeah, they didn't like her daddy, so and they're not gonna like her. So, those people like that need to kick rocks with open toed shoes on in the wintertime. I mean, it doesn't make sense because, you know, you're talking about somebody who, TD, in his theology years ago, this would not have happened. It wouldn't have happened. Now we can talk about him being a businessman and all that kind of stuff, and understand that the business has to keep on going because we're talking about generational wealth here that he has amassed and acquired. But the reality is that years ago in West Virginia, this would not have happened, right? So you fast forward to now to the empire that he's built, and you're talking about somebody who, has number one made space in his theology for that. That's good. That's okay. We're hand clapping something that should have been done years ago. But anyway, to this young lady who is more than just his daughter, right? Yes, she's his daughter, but she's more than that. She's a preacher.
She's a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse. And she would be if she wasn't his daughter. Absolutely.
If she wasn't his daughter. If she wasn't his daughter, she's a preacher.
Period.
You can't deny that, right? And she's a preacher for this time.
And the truth of the matter is, she's going to reach women that ain't never stepping foot in nobody else's church. Even some of these women preachers who went to all the right schools, have read all the right books, whatever the case may be, they show up and they're the women who would never remove their wigs, and they're inaccessible to a lot of the women that she can reach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm saying all to say, I'm not hating on sis. I'm sensitive about the topic. We've talked about this before with my wife, and on our podcast we talked about it. And I just have another. I guess I just have another level of sensitivity, and that's why I said, if she had said that, all right, cool, but she didn't, flowing in the spirit, whatever, and all these women are taking off their wigs. If you feel empowered, great. But if you don't feel empowered to do that, that should be fine too, because everybody is not where. And I'm just throwing this name out here because I don't know any other star who is. Everybody ain't Jada that that can,
right, for sure.
that's gonna do that. Or what's the other lady from Mad TV back in the day, Deborah Wilson. That's the only other star I can think of. She probably
the congresswoman.
Oh yeah, Ayanna Presley, right?
Ayanna Presley.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of her at the moment, right?
Yeah, that's a fair
Everybody's
point.
Not
it
that,
is.
So, and I get your point, and I agree with your point that she gets more vitriol because she's a woman doing this than a man would if they had done a sermon illustration, whatever. I think I don't know what's commensurate.
Well, so it's interesting that you said that. I can't remember who. So I think it was either Melva Sampson or Nichelle Guidry or Whitney Bond. I can't remember. One of those people on Facebook was like, they were likening it to a male preacher who like unbuttons his collar and takes off his tie, like this kind of.
There's apples and oranges.
I don't think so. If you think about a wig as an accessory, maybe not, right? All the argument is that
right.
Men are allowed to do these demonstrative things, right? And it be considered a part of the art and craft of preaching,
right?
In ways that women are not allowed.
Snatch it. I'll say this. Maybe there's space for both of these things, but the dynamic of snatching off your wig as an accessory and then snatching off your wig as a necessity.
But was she saying it was a necessity though?
No. I'm not saying she was.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the dynamics that exist there. She snatches off her wig, and for some the wig is an accessory. And for others the wig is a necessity. For whatever reason, like I said before, some women ain't there yet. All right, so it's a necessity.
It don't have to be. I mean,
so I just it's like I'm making what I'm saying is I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm also making space for the fact that she should not be judged harshly for this. I think that's foolish. Judge harshly. We can have a discussion. I'm also not gonna be out there, on Twitter, on Instagram, like I can't believe she did it.
For what?
For me, and my sensitivity towards it, that's just what I saw, what I felt. It's not what I saw. I saw, and that's what I felt when I saw what she did. And that is, you can do that because you don't have that much to lose. That's in my mind. All right. You don't have that much to lose. Calculated risk, sure, but you don't have that much to lose. You are Sarah Jakes Roberts. You have a global platform. You have a full head of hair. You got somebody standing right there to catch your hair when you throw it to him, even though she didn't catch the hair.
She did not catch it. She had to pick it up off the floor. She had to pick it up off the floor.
You got all. She let it go. You had one job, sis. One job. Catch the wig. So
sis was on the praise team. She was just at the right time in the right place.
Right? I don't know about that. I don't know. She was gonna be the wig catcher. Because she moved real quick. She moved real quick.
But here's the thing though. Do I think it was orchestrated a little bit? Absolutely. But I would say, as a sister, when you see your sisters in need, you step in, okay?
Especially like that, right?
Especially like that. Because many a time I have showed up at a place where I didn't think I needed to be because my sister needed some assistance. That's all I'm saying.
And that's what she said, right? Like, don't act like we don't snatch these wigs off when somebody go down.
A shoe, a wig, a purse. Sometimes you got to be there to catch something that gets tossed. You just never know. And if you're really down for me, you're going to be there when I need you.
I think you're right. It does open up a great conversation that needs to be had. Like, we can talk about this. We can talk about it on our podcast, which is what we're doing, obviously. And we can put it in that that whole arena of faith and mess. But to your point, there has to be a conversation about it where women and men are at the table together to discuss why is this so bad, versus the necktie, even though I still think they're apples and oranges. But why are we looking at something like this with so much when, and it really is because she is a woman, so if we don't have conversations, it's almost like, this is what I think. This is just what I think. If you put young people in sports, if you allow little boys and little girls together in sports when they're younger, I think they grow up defeating some of the things that we see, generally some of the ideas, the misogyny, the whole girls can't do this, kind of argument, because it's formative. They're younger. If I can play sports with little Zachy and little Susie, and they're coming up together, then they will, hopefully, the hope is they will affirm each other, in that, right? Soccer, baseball, whatever. Some would say football's a bridge too far. Hey, I did watch the LFL when it was out there. That's the lingerie football league. But it was women playing with women. All right. We don't see women playing with men on those, especially on those key positions. My point is this, is that when are we going to really have these serious conversations, though, together, genders together? I don't want to negatively gender it, but men and women together having these conversations and breaking down the barriers so that we're not looking at this. We can look at it as, oh yeah, it was a setup, or not a setup, it was planned, and we can talk about that all day. But I don't also want to look at it like she shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? That that kind of thing, because it's not. Is it really a bridge too far that she snatched her wig off while she's preaching?
What was she supposed to do? Mess with it all? I mean, so what was the alternative, right? You could look at it and tell the wig was slipping. So
it was slipping.
There's no turning back now. What was she supposed to do? Just keep trying to be distracted by it while she was preaching?
Well, no.
If something is a distraction to you, you fix it.
No. If right, what you just said, I'm rocking with. If it wasn't an illustration, she didn't glue it because that's what it was supposed to do.
But
It
that's
was
what I'm
supposed to come
saying.
off.
If you want to make the argument that it wasn't a well-planned illustration, that it was actually accidental, then she really was left with no choice. She couldn't stop in the middle of her sermon to go fix the wig. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what was she supposed to do? What would y'all have been? Here's my point. What would they have been happy with?
Nothing.
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 Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing. I also think that she is, she's savvy, so that she understands that whenever she's up there, she doesn't just have 1,000 eyes
Yes,
in the
she
sanctuary,
knows.
but she's got millions of eyes. So yeah, like if we weren't global, if it was just the Potter's house back in the day without internet, well, maybe I might let it ride, maybe, but oh no, ain't no way you
No,
can't,
and she knows
because
that.
I can see it right up there. She
Yeah.
knows that. She
Yeah.
knows that. Well, look, this is how I'm ending it, and that is, preach on, Sarah. Do what you
That's
got to do,
right.
baby girl. But look, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I would like, um, for something like that, when you're dealing with an issue that is, it's a serious thing. Wigs are serious. I would appreciate if she had said, with a post or something like that, what you were saying earlier, and that is, hey, we snatch wigs off today to show, you don't need them or whatever, but at the same time, we also make room for the sisters that do, and God's got you, whatever. That kind of thing. That's my only thing. And you don't have to do that in the moment, because like you said, you're in the spiritual high, you preaching, you doing all that kind of stuff. But she also, I think, has a responsibility, like those in that position do, when they have those platforms, to make a clarification, somewhat. Maybe I'm getting
that's
older.
fair.
I don't know. Huh?
No, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. We talked about this, but I was teaching a
That's just
class.
me. That's it.
Yeah, I was teaching a class the last several weeks about Black women's mental health as resistance, and we were talking about bodies and physical appearance, related to this conversation. And somebody brought up in the conversation, well, what about women who get plastic surgery or who are nipping and tucking and doing whatever? Like, does this run contrary to this idea of a Black woman's body as holy as it is? And I was like, I mean, for me, I'm not in a position to judge another sister's motivations for why she's doing what she's doing, right? And so my responsibility is to make space for sisters to show up however they want, right? Like the sister who's decked out, who has on the 5-inch heels and the wig and the full beat, and the sister who comes in jeans and a t-shirt. Like there's space for all of that, right? And to me, the work is, how do we give explicit permission for everybody, but for women in particular, because women's bodies are so policed, to show up in the way that helps them to feel most comfortable in the space and to feel most connected to community? Like, I think that's the goal, right?
I think it's a continuation of just breaking, of, as you're saying, when you make that space, at the well, when you're
Making Space at the Well by Jessica Young Brown, copyright 2020.
when you're making that space, I think it's an acknowledgement, like even at the well, right? Jesus was there, but he made it all about the woman. It's to me what that says is, I can't make space for you, but then also want to deny who you are.
Absolutely. It makes no sense.
It doesn't go. So if we as men, we can't continue to be trash, and we can't continue to just try to tuck it away or spiritualize it away. And then even when we do that, we're doing it wrong. We do a disservice to theological justice. So I'll write that down. Pretty good. Anyway,
see what happens when you wear that suit coat.
Woo! Hallelujah.
You done said cisgender heteronormative. We talking about theological justice.
I know, right?
My God, today.
I was reading Howard Thurman last night. So
there you go. That'll do it every time. The mystic will get you every time.
Every time. But that's That's the thing. And I've been trying to, and I hope other brothers have been trying to be very, very keen on the language we use and our actions. So it's not just talking, it's actions. It's action. Just real quick, and I'm done. I was searching for somebody. I'm serious. I was searching for somebody to preach for Officers Day. I only invite women for Women's Day, right?
Mhm.
That's women preach on Women's Day. Okay, that's good, right? But can we not just, there's homecoming,
Women
there's
are
family
equipped to
and
preach
friends
on all the
day,
days.
right? So Officers Day, like this is a great opportunity to invite somebody I know, I trust, I love. She was phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, they ever had a woman on Officers Day to preach. And so it's just the idea that I was thinking about it the other day, that we just got to stop with the classifications. When I talk about preacher, that's a preacher. That's not a female preacher, number one. That's not a female. And it's more than just a woman preacher. That's a preacher, period. So stop with the othering. That's all I have to say. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else.
Folks, email us your thoughts.
What'd you say?
Fammatterspod. I said email us your thoughts.
Yeah.
fammatterspod@gmail.com.
Email it. fammatterspod@gmail.com. Watch this on YouTube at Fan Matters Pod. We're on IG. Fan Matters Pod.
Fammatterspod. We're
That's all
easy
I
to
got to say.
find.
Easy to find. Easy.
Let's work to fight patriarchy. The fight continues.
The fight continues.
And God bless Sarah Jakes Roberts.
God bless her and her unglued wig.
And her unglue wigs. She got plenty of wig
God,
glue at home.
God bless her. God bless Halle Bailey and all the flack that the movie been taking because
I
people
saw
were
that movie
hating.
this morning.
Did you? Did you like it?
It was okay.
That's another
We can talk
topic
about
for
that
another
next.
day.
It was fine. Everything is fine.
Fan faithful, we thank you so much. Once again, we appreciate you. We certainly give you love. As always, my sister, great talking to you. So for Jessica Young Brown, Dr. Jessica Young Brown, say the doctor, Emmett Young, and we'll
Dr.
see you.
Emmett Young, say the doctor.
Say the doctor, Dr. Emmett Young. We'll see you next time.
Bye.